Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our special series of Old Gods of Appalachia. I am excited to teach this series to 3 whole new players who have no idea what's coming. But to set the stage, we're going to be starting in the hills of Kentucky in 1909. And to say that our country was allowed to spread as far as it did on the backs of miners and rail workers would be an understatement. Towns founded on the veins of iron and copper and other precious minerals dotted the landscape of Appalachia. Some would go on to become booming centers of industry and commerce. Some would fall by the wayside, a footnote in the historical context of the Great Expansion. One such town, teetering on the edge of either outcome, is Ashland, Kentucky, where we're going to find our 3 not targets, but players. 50 years ago, the city was incorporated by the Kentucky General Assembly to serve as a new claim for the Kentucky Iron, Coal, and Manufacturing Company. In that time, what would be considered prosperous companies have come to call Ashland home. Chief among them are Armco, the American Rolling Mill Company, the CTCC, the Consolidated Temperature Controlling Company, and the competing railway companies of C&O, which are Chesapeake and Ohio Railway, and B&L Coal, which is Barrow and Lock Mining and Railroad Combine. Now, a lot can change in the span of 50 years, especially when you see that Barrow and Lock are entrenched in the foundation of a city. And as we creep closer to the end of the year, the temperatures have begun to drop, even though the gossip is heating up. It is 1909. The winds have begun to carry the telltale signs of winter as a town bids farewell to summer and its heat. It is 10 days from Halloween, and town has gathered for the passing of a pillar of the community. Preacher Matthias Gaines, unfortunately, has passed recently. The young apprentice, Father Joshua P. Hill, has been thrust into the limelight of the town's spiritual leadership. And I should correct myself, the white leadership. There's a difference in this time period. The young man has a long road ahead of him, and as his darker skin tone has betrayed his Melungeon heritage, he has an uphill battle. It is the fall of 1909. The sun is setting on the town of Ashland and promises a new dawn, a new beginning for everyone. But in the highlands and hollers of Appalachia, nothing new can come without a hefty price. There can be no rose without the destruction of its seed. There can be no coffee without the grinding of the life-giving beans they come from. There can be no chicken pot pie without the death of someone's chicken. Because in Appalachia, nothing new can come from nothing, not unless some dark deal is struck. And what price has been paid for this new beginning? What was bartered for the prosperity of this town? And what deal could have been struck in the dark corners of quiet Ashland, Kentucky, that are slowly being brought up to the surface like a minecart full of treasure? That's where we're going to find our 3 players. Hello, everybody. It's good to see your faces again.
Hello.
Let's give everybody a chance to introduce themselves and their characters. We'll start from right to left. So we'll start with our protector. Kenny, kick us off.
Here we go.
When I gotta go first. So I am John Boy Tyler. Yeah, just a logger trying to find work, and unfortunately, Duck brought me here to Kentucky. If you find a job, it doesn't gotta be logging. It can be
Yep.
anything. If you need somebody to be roughed up, you need somebody to protect. Mostly, your man.
The good thing, one of the things that I enjoy about the Cypher system is that there are no classes like there are in Dungeons and Dragons. There's types, focuses, and descriptors. John Boy happens to be a brash protector who gets rough and ready,
Yeah. Well,
Oh, I
let me
wrote that
correct that.
wrong.
Yeah,
rough and
yeah.
rowdy.
I said
Rough and
rough.
rowdy. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, he does need money anyway, but still, yeah. People say you gotta think twice before you jump. I just jump. I'm gonna find out midway if it worked or not.
Okay.
It's worked out for me so far. I mean,
Yep.
in fact, I'm broke, but other than that,
Junie, what can you tell us about Mabel?
Mabel has recently come into the country through way of Massachusetts,
Okay.
and actually is a visitor because she found a suitcase in a road on the way to Chicago.
Okay. And Mabel happens to be a lucky explorer who knows the unknowable. And Sway, what can you tell us about Luke? I'm assuming
not
I'm
much.
allowed to call him Luke.
Yeah. Now, friends can call him Luke. If you've worked with him before, you can call him Luke. Now, there's a difference between working with somebody and working for somebody.
Mhm.
If you work with them and he considers you a friend, you know him as Luke. Now, if you don't, and you just know of him, or maybe you work with him a little bit here and there, he's probably just old sage to you. Old sage, the hag man to the youngins that know about his stories and mostly what people believe are lies. But
Okay.
he is a mystical sage who becomes the beast.
Ooh.
And he's just a guy that likes to live in the woods and by himself.
Yeah.
Just a little skinning, little trading, grows little herbs.
Okay. Are you at the burial that's happening, or are you watching from your house on the hill?
Well, because Sway, which is this deity far away, didn't pull up your stream in time to catch the intro,
Mhm.
and then broadcast that to everyone like he thought he was. Sway understands the very last little bit of where we're at, other than we're in Ashland, Kentucky, 1909. But Luke, old sage, just tends to be where he needs to be for the stories to continue.
Okay. That's a good answer. So we'll say that this would have been one of the days that you've come into town to pick up supplies. On your way out, you see that there is a smattering of people gathered. They are burying somebody outside of the northernmost church, the Church of Mary's Grace, as it's called. Not one that I think Old Sage has seen the inside of. I don't think it's one that any of these three have seen the inside of. It is uppity in that it has a certain kind of congregation. They are all very hard to tell apart from each other, but the one factor that they all share is that they are wealthy white Anglo-Saxons. The people gathered around this burial all fit the mold of the congregation, except for two faces that you haven't seen in some time, at least not outside of professional endeavors. John Boy sticks out. He He's easily 6 inches taller than the tallest member of this congregation. And even with like his work hat in his hands, and kind of looking as sheepish as possible at this funeral, he still is this mountain of a man. John Boy, can you tell me one fact that you know about Preacher Gaines?
Well, when I first came into work, first came into this area, just trying to find any little odd job that I can get on my feet. At least when I started here, uh, father just came, immediately saw me, and saw that I was. He told me strong as an ox, and that piqued my interest a little bit when he said he needed some help with, just putting out on some siding that needed over at the farm that's close by here. And I mean, it was the first piece of work that I've had. And every now and again, I come to him to get some odd jobs in. I need some extra scratch, so it helps.
Okay. Mabel, you're from out of town. Would you have heard something, a rumor about Preacher Gaines? Something that might have piqued your interest, knowing that he was going to be in your immediate area?
He was very kind. He welcomed anyone and everyone, regardless of who they were and what they were, and being Irish and going through New York and then through Massachusetts. There's a wee bit of a dislike of the Irish, so it was always nice to hear that there was a friendly person about to welcome.
Okay. And Old Sage, I think, had the most interaction with Preacher Gaines given his time in Ashland. What is one truth that you know about Preacher Gaines?
Preacher Gaines does seem to take care of his congregation. He's always got a helping hand for those who are in need. But Old Sage has never figured out his true motivations, because at least from his perspective, and it could just be that he didn't feed the crows when he could have. There's something not right. Something not he doesn't trust. Old Sage doesn't trust the motivations, but he can't prove nothing because he seems like he's doing all the good stuff.
And since Old Sage has been here the longest, what is something that he might have heard about Father Hill, the young man taking over?
He tends to wear his hat inside too much for people to really feel settled when he walks into the room. He doesn't seem to understand you take your hat off inside. The cultural norms, he just doesn't seem to understand, or at least respect. That there's polite things to do and there's polite ways to do them.
As you're walking by this display of sadness, it's melancholy, to be sure, but no one's crying, no one's bawling or screaming or hollering. Everyone has this air about them that this is a solemn occasion, and that decorum dictates that everything needs to be of a certain view, to outsiders. Everyone has their hands crossed in front of them. Wives are next to their husbands. There are no children present at the burial. And there is a moment where Father Hill closes his book and ushers one of the wives up, and she starts singing a song, and Father Hill comes over and pulls John Boy and Mabel, and as his eyes settle on Old Sage, he opens up the little trio so that he has a spot if he wants it. But Father Hill also, I think, inside is deathly afraid of Old Man Sage.
I'll walk up where I've been invited.
I wish that I could do this under better circumstances. Preacher Gaines asked me to make sure that his last wishes are handled as he would have wanted. He has, and I don't know what kind of relationship you all had with Preacher Gaines, but he named you 3 in his wishes, as it were. And he shows you, he opens up his Bible, which is this thick, leather-bound, very heavy-looking book, and it opens up to Corinthians, where he has put the letter, and it's a 3-page letter. He looks through it, and he pulls the second page, excuse me, and he hands it to John Boy. As you can see, there's your name. There's Miss Regan's name, and he just put Luke. I'm assuming that's you.
It is.
All right.
Do I get the perception that, and this is in no way a dig at the player, but just the time period, do I get the perception that John Boy can read?
That's a question for John Boy.
You know what? I can. It takes me a while. It's words kind of. They told me when I was younger. Words kind of move from one end of the paper, from one end of the word to the other. It's called something. It's like a really, really long word. It starts with a D, but for the most part, if I take my time, I can read my name. It says right there, John Boy Tyler. It says it right there.
And Old Sage would never be anybody to rush somebody while they're obviously figuring it out.
Yeah.
But his eyes are starting to get to the point where it's like, at this point now, he's just pretending that he's reading it on.
Yeah. He read his name. He's done enough.
He's like, yeah, I know this is something. It's important. Paper looks important. Has my name on it, but I don't know what else. I'm like, all right, it's taking me, and I just pass it off to the person right next to me.
Which one of the 2?
I think Old Sage would probably take it because he took the spot in the middle, so he would be no matter which side he was on. I guess he's going to take it. I'm just going to look over it. Does it look like a last will and testament? It does not.
It is not a legally binding document. It just looks like these are the last notes that he jotted down about each of you.
Okay.
Like, it's very clinical when it comes to you. Like, there's a lot of annotations, like knows herbs, must ask about this flower. There's a drawing of said flower.
Is that a flag to me at all? Like the type of flower, would that be anything that would suggest a very specific use, or is it more of a common herb?
You know what? Let's roll.
Oh fuck!
That's
It's never good to be the
For
first roll of the night. It's never good.
let's have you do the
Oh.
first roll of the night. So the way the cipher system works is that things have a challenge rating from 1 to 10. Everything's based off of the 20. And so whenever you're given a challenge rating, if the storyteller is kind enough to say it's going to be a challenge rating X, the easiest way to figure out what your target number is to multiply that challenge rating by 3.
Okay.
And now you're wondering, well, what do you do if you have to face something that's a challenge rating 10, like the thing whose name sounds like Hornet Head but is not, is a challenge rating 10. For those that have have followed along the podcast,
I need to create a timer for that.
the thing about the cipher system is that you are allowed to throw up to 2 skills or advantages at a task and up to 2 items as assets. And depending on whether you're trained or specialized or what the item does, it could ease your task, which is lowering the challenge rating by 1 or 2 levels. If something hinders your task, it pushes it up by 1. So,
Okay. So my question is this: when we created the character,
Mhm.
I took the area of knowledge herbalism,
you did. So
Now-
that will ease your task by 1.
so that will ease my task. Now, where would I find on my character sheet? And I know I don't have it set up right yet where they can see my character sheet. Where would I look at my character sheet to figure out what kind of role I'm doing?
Oh, there is no place. It
Cool.
is just like whenever a roll is called for, it's always going to be a d20.
Okay.
And then I will always ask you, what do you have to throw at the test to
Okay.
ease it for you?
Can I throw multiple things?
You can throw up to 2 skills or special abilities, and up to 2 pieces of equipment as assets.
Well, one thing old Sage doesn't like to do is go wasting his equipment. So I'm going to take living off the land and area of knowledge for herbalism.
Okay, both of those will ease your task by 1 each, so it's eased by 2. The other thing you could do is throw effort at something,
Okay.
and effort eats up your pools. So if you want to try to push something and you don't think you have the right skills or equipment for it, you could put some might effort into it and then just cost you your might. The double-edged sword there is that your pools are also your health.
Well, I don't like to go wasting that neither, so I'll just go ahead and do a D20.
Okay.
It's just a flower. I don't need to put no effort into this.
No, you've seen them
I
all
feel
over the
confident.
place. You do
I
have
got-
a 16 intellect, so I'm just saying you could throw effort into it, but
I got a 15.
a 15 on die. That's enough for challenge rating 5. I'll be honest with you. It was a challenge rating 3. So you brought it down to a 1 with your 2 assets. So anything higher than a 3 would have nailed this test.
No, I can still use those special abilities. I
Again,
haven't,
yeah.
used them. Oh,
You
okay.
haven't used them. They're access.
like, other platforms do
Yes.
stupid things. Like once you identify something that's magical and you use that spell, you have to relearn it.
Yeah, no. This is a good system comparatively. There's a reason why the cipher system is in my my top 3, top 5, because Mage is still top place, and then L5R and Star Wars from West End Games will always be my top 3. But with a 15, easily can tell that flower doesn't normally grow out here. You have a small bush of it. You maybe get a dozen at best a year to grow.
Okay.
And even with trying to cultivate it, the land just doesn't want it.
Gotcha.
Like you have done your sage shenaniganery to grow this the amount that you do. you'll always get less than a dozen, but you'll never get more than a dozen.
Okay.
You know that plant isn't native to this area, and if used incorrectly, it could be poisonous.
Gotcha. You say to use it incorrectly.
If you use it incorrectly.
What would be its correct use? Just to let it grow?
No. There are.
Is there a good use for this?
There are uses for it if you know how to blend it with the right roots.
Okay.
To create a.
So if I had this on me, I'd have plausible deniability and wouldn't be obviously trying to poison somebody.
If you had it and the roots, yes.
Okay.
But if you just had it would be suspicious.
Fair enough. Okay.
But yeah,
this is things I need to know in 1909 Kentucky walking around town.
I mean, you're also white, so a lot of people aren't going to question you.
Yeah, but I'm the witchy dude that lives in the woods. I'm not a woman. Otherwise, that would have been worse. But you know,
Yeah.
You're not wrong there.
I'm just creating my little notepad of.
Yeah. But if mixed correctly by somebody that's trained, it is a sedative. It's kind of like aspirin.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it has a pain inhibitor, but it also has it's
toxic if used.
A toxicity to render a person unconscious.
Okay. I'm gonna hand it to May here. No, to Reagan is on the sheet.
Mabel
Mabel.
Reagan.
Mabel Reagan. I'm going to hand this to Mabel Reagan. So the third party here can also see everything on the sheet.
Mm.
Now, when you hand it over to her, the priest kind of tilts his head at you. But he also, going back to the fact that he is afraid of you,
raise an eyebrow.
Doesn't question
if I catch it, I'm going to raise an eyebrow at him.
Yeah, he just...
Their problem.
No, of course not. That's got your name on it. Applies to you as well.
I agree. I just noticed that he had raised an eyebrow.
Oh, just local ways. That's all.
I'm sorry. I just figured that one of the men would have read it out to you.
Oh, you don't think I can read now?
I didn't say that, but
it's implied.
Your kind is coming a long way, so it doesn't surprise me anymore.
Do you realize that I'm schooled not just in ways of reading but also in science as well?
No, I'm going to raise an eyebrow.
Yeah,
just a little bit. I'm not going to make a note of it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do it. My eyebrow raises a little bit higher.
I'm more just staring at Hill, like I'm just like, okay, I want to hear what his retort is now. So I'm just like,
no, he nods. He's like, oh, I did not know that.
My late husband actually allowed me to go to college. Surprising that, now isn't it?
Sure is.
Con man.
I beg your pardon?
A kind man.
Sorry, I'm still learning the accents a bit.
Did he really say con man?
No.
Did I hear him say con man?
He said kind.
Okay. I'm like, because I swear heard him say con man. I was like,
that's exactly what I thought.
We can have a different conversation inside the church right now.
Yeah, he stuck his foot into some
This
quicksand.
your guy. It ain't mine, buddy. We can step outside if you want.
He said kind, but the first time he said it definitely was more for like, I guess. The second time it was just like, no, I meant
No,
it.
Don't call me on my bluff.
Yeah, no, I meant this, sure. But yeah, the first time he was definitely like, here's some lip service. And then when he got called out, it was like, oh, no, I mean this, I mean it.
I would hope so.
I'm
Bless
hip
his
with
heart. He was a very understanding man, especially in my ways.
I'm sure he was. The world's a little darker without him. And he crosses himself.
Indeed.
Oh, okay. Now I got to feel for what kind of religion we're dealing with.
Yeah, the bad kind. Religion is religion.
Religion's religion. Backwoods,
She
when you're actually
refrains.
crossing, there's a depth there that
Mm.
I take note of.
Okay.
She refrains from saying anything Latin and starts to read.
Yeah.
Now, is he wearing like a collar, or is he wearing like?
No, he's not wearing the collar.
Okay, just comfortable clothes.
He's got a black jacket, but otherwise he's got a kind of gray tinted work shirt, the brown slacks and brown work boots.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just pointing at maybe. Excuse me, Miss.
Mrs.
Miss. Oh, forgive me, Mrs. By chance, tell me what's there written about me?
Would you like me to read it out to you?
I don't mind.
Just a little
Very
smile
well.
there.
She'll read out.
Yeah, as far as John Boy is concerned, John Boy has been left a wheelbarrow and a shovel. And the father, Preacher Gaines, has asked him to take care of his apple tree.
Okay.
He has been given an apple tree.
Oh. A small little tear. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
actually still something. Actually still something.
For Mabel, it is actually addressed to Mabel and the husband's name,
Richard.
So it's obviously addressed to Richard first, Richard and Mabel Regan, and it has instructions on what to do and who to talk to at the Ashland Bank. But there's a safety deposit box for you.
Did I get left anything, or is he just wanting to know about a flower?
No, Luke, for Luke, and in quotations, the old man of the hill, he has left him.
That old.
And old is without the D, it's just O-L apostrophe. He's asked about the flower, but he also has drawn out a map to a particular place near the mine tunnels.
Okay.
And that's where the drawing is, and there's an arrow kind of pointing to a circled area. But you can see the mines, you can see the railroad tracks. They're not scientific or topographical in any way, they're just kind of like snake.
Yeah.
They're a child's interpretation of like the railroad.
There's a railroad and goes that way, kind of.
Hey, there's a railroad there, you know.
No, it starts here and it ends there.
Woo. But yeah, no, the main concern that he has left for you is the flower.
Okay.
But Father Hill just kind of, after you read it out loud, he goes, I can make a copy of that if you'd like. I'm sure you can make a copy of it. I didn't mean to presume again, ma'am. But I would like to keep that with the rest of Preacher Gaines's effects.
Yeah, you go ahead. We'll take this one because it looks like that has some material we might need to take to the bank. I like to keep all the originals as much as possible. But yeah, make yourself a copy if you need to.
I appreciate that, especially being I'll go to the bank.
Well, I mean,
It didn't have my name on it.
it's Sunday, so the banks won't be open until tomorrow morning. But sure, let
Funny
me.
thing about different countries is the banks are always closed on Sunday.
It's the Lord's Day, ma'am.
I'm aware. I'm from Ireland. Trust me, we know more about the Lord than many other people.
And
That's exactly. I want to watch his look because if he's got any like Catholic schooling because he crossed himself. I'm like, if he's Catholic, I want to see how he takes to Catholicism. I need to see his reaction to this.
Oh, he reaches over and he just kind of like plucks the letter and pulls it back.
She's holding it gently so he can take it very easily.
He just
okay.
It looks like he forces the smile, but he's like, "I'll just go up to the church there and make a copy if you'd like to. Sit a spell. I can brew some tea."
Be delightful, actually.
He starts to make his way up towards the church.
All right.
If you got anything stronger, that'll be great too. Thank you.
That's in the backpack I have.
There's a slight like sloshing to old man stage.
He stops when you say that. He turns around. Yeah, I wouldn't drink on the Lord's Day if I were you.
I didn't say if we were drinking. I said you offered tea. Did you not?
If you need some stronger herbs for your tea, don't give it a real kick to get you going in the morning. I can help you with that.
No, a good Irish tea. It has a little wee bit of a kick. I would never say I would take anything on the Lord's Day. Of course not.
I'm just concerned about your souls is all.
Oh, my dear.
It's a good
quite
preacher should be.
I'm going to do the cross. Thank you. We'll be here when you get back. I promise.
All right. I'll just go up.
Looking at Sage, I'm just like, okay. I just start doing. Maybe I'm
Yeah. But he waddles away.
And then he waddled away.
Yeah.
Waddle.
But, it is the most uncomfortable waddle. Like he is trying to stand upright, but he has also just had a lot of the world that he didn't know shoved in his face.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to come to grips with that.
Take it.
The three of you are left there. No, three of you are left there if you want to chat.
Take it. He's not used to women talking back to him in such a way.
I don't think he's used to women talking. How are you doing?
That's a shame.
By after that, you can call me Luke.
You can call me Mabel.
Nice to meet you, man.
My manners. John Boy. I mean, well, no, you heard. JB. Just call me JB. Makes it easier.
You can call me Mabel if you both like. It's easier. Doctor or Mrs. sometimes gets mixed up in the way of titles.
Oh, you're a doctor. Well, you said science, so I mean that's real schooling.
I graduated from Trinity College in Dublin.
I've heard of Dublin. I'm gonna act like I've heard of anything else. I'm just gonna nod like approvingly. Like
it's a capital of Ireland, where I'm from.
Well, I've heard
far from here.
I didn't know it was the capital.
It's the capital of the country. Kind of like how London is the capital of England, or your Washington D.C. is the capital of your country.
I know that one. That one I know.
Yeah.
My husband was American.
Oh, well, where about from?
He was from Chicago.
Oh,
that's actually where I'm going back to, is to meet his family, being I'm his widow now, and having to bring his effects and such. Influenza.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Well, I appreciate it. It was over 2 years ago, so you get used to it after a bit. Have to keep the papers on me to hold on to his property and such.
Yeah, it's you're
interesting.
Yeah,
I'm aware. I am. It's
amazing how, especially in them hills, there and here, we all respect our mamas, but then we don't want our mamas to talk nowhere. It's funny how that works sometimes. But it was nice to meet you, ma'am.
With pleasure.
Do you mind if I see that real quick? Oh no, he took it. He took it with him, didn't he?
Yeah, he took it.
Yeah, we gotta wait for him.
I did remember it. What part did you want to? Which part did you want to remember off of the paper?
Well, I was gonna see if. Do I know if that flower is by those mines at all?
It is not.
If it's hard to grow, okay.
You're the only one that grows it in this area.
Okay. Well, if I don't mind me asking, but what kind of science do you do?
Well, mostly medicine,
Oh, okay.
um, biology, botany, a wee bit of herbs.
Oh,
I'm from County Clare. Have you ever heard of a thing called a bog?
Swampy kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We use a lot of what was around there for medicinal purposes, and plus it was also by the burns, where wildflowers would grow out of the stones, and so you make perfumes or herbal medicine and such like that. And so you turn around and put that into medicine to help heal the sick and such. Unfortunately, with my husband, you kind of heal up influenza. It's a virus, so
Oh,
it just takes its course. So, but gangrene,
have you ever been to Florida? Have you ever been
I have.
down real south?
I can't kind of say. I came through New York.
Yep. Unless you want to go
It
back to Boggs, you're not missing nothing. But I just thought it was.
fair enough.
If you're ever looking
New
for a
York,
lot of homeland, they got a lot of swampland down there.
I've heard that they have an interesting animal. It's about a wee bit long, long snout and
Oh,
sharp
gators.
teeth.
Yeah.
Yes,
Swamp
yes.
puppies.
gators. Yeah,
Yeah.
gators.
I'm not particular about those.
I wouldn't suggest you try to be. It's
Mm.
some
I would
animals
say
you can work
though.
with, some will work against you. And that's definitely one that I've seen some weird things where somebody will pet one.
No,
No,
not particular.
no unnecessary danger.
Closest thing you'll see me pet is maybe a dog or a cat.
I'm going to take a note of this for later.
Mhm.
Storyteller that never actually seen a gator. They have not.
I imagine the moment you said that you had seen a gator and somebody like petting it, I assumed immediately in my mind that it is one of those traveling circuses where they dress something up as a different thing. So it might have been an iguana that they're like, look at this ferocious gator from south of Alabama. Personally captured.
Yeah.
And look at how docile it has become in my care. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty apropos of the time. We'll look up what they thought a rhino was.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got, and then, so Jay, can I call you JB?
Oh no! Oh, please.
Oh.
It makes it so much. Like, folks call me JB. It's fine.
So you got a lot of experience with apple trees?
I mean, I'm good with my hands, and I know that when it comes to at least plants and trees, I know it takes a lot of labor, a lot of work, a lot of tending. So, I'm good with trees mostly. You mostly chopping, but this is the first time that somebody asked me to actually tend one, and I actually got quite fond with it up until lately. You know, haven't seen it in a bit, and now that it's mine, I can't wait to actually start working on it. But mostly mostly I go transplant from city to city, state to state lately. Just just cutting trees mostly.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Hey, maybe next thing you know, maybe you have a whole orchard. You won't have to worry about cutting them down no more. You just plant more.
I can actually, yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about it right now. Maybe figuring out a way. Like, I would like to find a way how I can make money off of it. That's really, it's really the big thing about it. But I mean, you brought up
your cannon.
before. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Cannon. Taking a jar and putting in cored apples or cut apples into a jar and sealing it. It's called canning.
Oh, usually when I ferment fruit like that, I make moonshine.
Yeah, like that,
But
but a little bit before that process, and you make preserves. But I tell you what,
preserves.
Yeah,
yeah,
you kind of make whiskey out of that, unfortunately.
got to keep it past the winter.
You see
But
a
I mean, you can
little.
also just sell them in town. You can cover them. You go to the I think they got a new candy shop. You just buy get some sweets. You melt it down. You pour it over the apple. Kids love it.
Yeah, you see a little. And speaking of kids, you see a little boy come out in the regal robe of an altar boy. Father Hill says he's ready. He has served the tea. Come on, and he's just as nervous as Father Hill, if not more.
What's your name, son?
Oh, he's turned tail and ran back into the church.
Red. I'm sorry, Mabel. Mabel. It. You said you had a backpack.
Aye.
That had some something stronger.
I'm just gonna pat him on the back and be like, "I got something stronger. Whatever she's got that bag. Come on."
Oh, you know Jameson whiskey now, do you?
You know moonshine?
I have not ever heard of it.
Well, I hear the word moonshine. I'm like, please lead the way. Please.
Let's make sure we get a clear head for this, and we'll remember him kindly tonight. I promise you.
Very well.
To be honest, I need.
You make your way up to the church. You see that there is a.
I took that on my equipment.
Yeah, I knew who was playing and what to give them. But you see that he slides you your copy of it, and his copy of it is in the Bible, sticking out. He hands you the original.
Is he standing when we come in the room? Or is he sitting down?
No, he's standing.
Okay.
He's standing. He has his hat on though.
Yeah, of course he does. Fucking weird. It's nothing exactly like wrong, but like take your fucking hat off.
But he puts out the three saucers and the 3 teacups in front of everybody. Just pours out four things of tea.
I would like to see the unseen, Mr. Storyteller.
Ooh. All right. What are you looking for?
Hold on. It would see the unseen. We kind of talked about that. We look more like ghosts and spirits and stuff. Mm-hmm. Would Mystic Sense tell me if he put anything in this? Would I have an ability to tell without tasting it?
You could try to roll an understanding of magic. You could use some magic.
You know what? I'm going to take a sip of it, just a little sip, and then I'm going to use areas of knowledge herbalism.
Okay.
And see if it tastes fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll let him attempt to poison me. I want to know.
Yeah. It's not hot when you bring it up to your lips. It looks like it's been cooled down a bit. The moment you swallow, go ahead and roll that for me.
Can I sense my magic as well when I do it?
Yeah.
Natural 20. I don't know if that does anything for this game. Natural 20.
It does.
Nice.
No, it does. It's a critical success.
Okay, I was like, it'd be really upsetting if it was like, that's cool. It just means you succeed.
Yeah, no. The crit range is really good for the Cypher system. It's such as 17.
17, 18, 19, and 20 are all crits?
Are all crits. They all do something different.
I like it.
It's a sliding scale of critical. The tea is not poisoned.
Okay.
It is actually an interesting mixture of the herbs that he has put in. You would not have thought to steep these roots and herb combinations.
Note: make better tea. Save.
It is. What?
No, I was going to say that if I was already given the moonshine, I'm going to try to sneak in some of that into the.
No, I haven't given you any moonshine yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't like the feel of this guy, and I'm trying to make sure we don't.
The tea by itself, it does not have a bitter taste. Like, it's not a black tea. but it definitely is not a sweet tea.
Okay.
But there's a little pumpkin shaped porcelain dish that has a little silver spoon in it for sugar. Like, which is strange because sugar should be cubed, but it's ground.
Well, I don't like doctoring up someone else's preparations. I'll just drink it straight. But I'm going to nod and prove it like that is some good tea. Did you make this?
It's one of Preacher Gaines' recipes. I find that it's very soothing.
It is.
With a little bit of honey.
Oh, honey would make this a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, I put the
Do
sugar
you
out.
need honey?
Recipes, and I'm just going to take a little.
Yeah.
Do you need honey?
Oh
No. No, I have the sugar out for you, for you all if you.
I'm just constantly with the little spoon. I'm just constantly just
Clink, clink,
going
clink,
little
clink,
by little. I'm just going
I love it.
as you guys are talking. I'm just like, this needs to be
super
a
sweet.
lot.
Yeah. John Boy. If anyone is counting, he puts in 6 spoonfuls of sugar.
At least. Sweet
No.
tea for the sweet boy. That's
John Boy likes sweet things. John Boy.
Mabel opens up her backpack, pulls out what looks like a small little honeycomb, and passes it to JB. You might want to put that in too. It's got honey in it. It will dissolve in the tea.
Sure. All right. Along with the sugar.
I kind of bring bees with me everywhere I go.
I do not recommend it. Look, never mind.
I wouldn't. I'm assuming you've dealt with a lot of other bees around here.
No, I don't really mess with bees too much, but I know somebody does, and like he just always wanted them as like friends. He just took. It's weird.
Did he smoke them or no?
Did he smoke them?
Did he use a smoker? Did he use a smoker around them to get the honey, did he just walk right in?
No, he would smoke them out. He wanted to carry, brought them around in like a little jar, put a hole in it, and just wanted a friend. I'm like, I don't think that's good for. Doesn't matter.
No, it is not good, especially with the balance. Yeah, no. It better now.
Well, I just wanted.
I'm chewing on the honeycomb. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to watch
touched the tea, and then you just slurped it into your mouth and like, fuck it. This is where it is now.
Yeah. Yep. This is it now. This is candy.
What were you saying, Sway?
Did he react at all to just someone having just a random conversation with a woman in front of him?
No, he was more concerned with this random woman just having honey on her person that could just be dissolved into tea like that. Like if you weren't around, you're pretty sure he would have yelled out witchcraft.
Witch.
Yeah, like that's the kind of air he's giving off right now.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate the tea, and I do appreciate the kind words and sentiments.
Oh, any time that you feel that you need guidance and reassurance in the Lord's work, this is now my congregation.
They're good. They're going to be glad to have you, especially after the loss of Preacher Gaines.
He looks down at his arm, and you see him kind of rub his forearm, the back of his forearm, a little bit. It should be an interesting growth period for all of us.
Well, growth is what drives the world forward.
Amen.
Now, is there anything else you need from us? I don't want to hold you, I know.
No. I should attend to the grievances and make sure that everybody is growing, as you have said.
I'm going to go ahead and stand on up. Does he stand up?
Yes.
Or is he just, okay.
Yeah, he still has his hat on.
I'm gonna. Yeah, of course. I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna shake his hand. I just want to get. I'm gonna give him one of those kind of handshakes. Like I want to get a feel for you.
Mhm.
Could I do see the unseen without him knowing that I'm doing that, or is that an obvious thing?
I don't think your power is obvious.
I don't.
Like some you read them and you're like, that's obviously gonna look like I'm using magic.
Yeah.
I think see the unseen could definitely just be like, you blink a couple times and like you're adjusting your sight to a darkened room.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna walk for him to extend my hand. Does he take my hand?
Yeah, he takes
I'm gonna
it.
give him nice, not stupidly strong, trying to prove a point. Just a nice, firm handshake. But I'm gonna like lock into his eyes. I'm gonna like just while I'm shaking his hand, I appreciate it. Just kind of. Do I get anything?
From him, no, but behind him, you can see the visage of Preacher Gaines. He's at the pulpit.
Preacher Gaines is at the pulpit.
Mm-hmm.
Is his body still here?
It's in the earth now.
Okay,
But they haven't.
sorry,
They
I
haven't.
didn't mean.
They just buried him today.
Okay. Anything that is he doing? Is he preaching? Is he just standing there?
He's got his hands on either side of the podium, and he is just kind of staring at the group. He's got a look of acceptance, but there's something else there.
Okay. Do I get the impression that he knows that I can see him?
After a moment, he notices you looking in his direction, and he tilts his head at you, and he smiles.
I'm going to lightly smile. I'm going to nod to him while I'm shaking this wonderful gentleman's hand, and I'm going to let go, and I'm going to let go of the sight.
Okay. But he does extend his hand out to John Boy. You let me know when you want to come by for that apple tree. I'll make sure some of the boys are around so they can help you if you need it.
No, I put it in. I'll take it out. Not a problem.
Oh, okay.
Sage makes an note of it.
Just
sweet.
I go ahead and extend his hand. I shake his hand, and again, I don't know my strength sometimes.
No, he pulls it back the second it's a little too strong for him, and then he holds up his hand. Ma'am, it was a pleasure to meet you, and I'm sorry to hear about your husband.
And she will actually put her hand out.
Is Mabel wearing gloves?
Yes, she is.
Yeah,
I'm not, but yes, she is.
Yeah,
she's proper. She will extend her hand out.
He looks at it for a second, and then
It's a custom from where I'm from to at least thank the preacher for everything that he has done.
I'm just so used to a husband doing that for their wife. I apologize. But he takes the hand very awkwardly, shakes it.
She does a very gentle shake, so it doesn't offset him even more so.
No.
So you got clean hands, hard hands, soft hands?
They're rough.
Okay.
They're worked. This is not a preacher that has led an easy life. Like there's definitely
the crossing earlier, and then the hard hands is like, okay.
Yeah. Like there's cracks in the skin of where he's, tended to trees or fixed fences or, done carpentry and things like that. Like this is a man that has definitely put in the hours, as it were. But he cleans up. He starts to clean up the teeth.
Okay. I'm going to start. Is there like a common meeting place in town where like we can get?
Oh yeah, there's the town square.
There's a
Is there a
hotel.
tavern to go to so we can talk party stuff, Raph?
There is a tavern you can go to talk party stuff.
I'm not going this way.
It won't
Is
be
the
open on
tavern
Sunday.
going to have? Is there a place that I could get a room?
Yes, I would assume that you already have a room, so we can just assume competence.
How far out of town would you reckon I live?
Up to you. I can say that the reason I asked you if you were at your house is because I would have made it that your hill overlooks the town. So regardless of how far away you are, you can still see the town.
Well, in case we would like to have discussions over some tea, Irish or not, or a little bit of shine, we can either stay here in town, and we can talk about our lovely preacher Gaines, or we can go up and probably can see a little bit of smoke coming from what would be like a cabin in the woods. If I can overlook it, I probably would have left something cooking and smoking. It's up to y'all. We can either stay here in town and talk, or we can fix you some food. And
I'm open to whatever. This is all new to me completely.
I mean,
What is local custom demand?
like I would say, like if John Boy is like from here, or he's not from here.
Well, I recently came. Like I'm here. I've been here long enough to know my way around this way. But
I always felt that. Yeah, I always felt that John Boy might have like grown up here, left, but has come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if you've been here for a while, like you would at least known of. Like there's always smoke on top of the hill, and it's the old guy or old sage or old hag man or but if you grew up here, you probably ran in to me still looking like me as a kid. So it kind of depends. Like if you grew up here, I'm a weird dude, but I'm nice. You don't know how I'm still just me. If you just moved back here, then it's more along the lines of you're a logger, I live in the woods kind of deal.
Yeah, it's more like I finally get to meet I get to actually hear the voice to the person that I see every so often passing through in the woods. But it would be something that I would have grown up here, but considering that I'm a traveler, like I'm literally just at a young age just left from here, gone to different states, ended up bringing myself back here because I had no other choice. It's the only place to work for me. So, I mean, I can remember I can remember somebody living in the woods. That's all I remember from being young.
I think that's kind of the thing too. Is like no one really like unless you've come up there and done trading, you probably don't exactly know what I really look like all the time. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Is it Regan or Reagan?
You can say it either way. I tend to say it's Reagan, but I've heard it 7 ways from Sunday by now.
Yes, ma'am. You're going to hear them another dozen by the end of the day.
You're not wrong.
So, Mrs. Reagan, did you already have a room set up in town?
Yeah, but I mean, whatever is easier to talk. I really am not particular. And if anyone wants to call me loose, I can give you a thing of what for exactly.
Well, I'll be quite honest with you. I'd feel rather better talking about anything in my own house than in somebody else's. I didn't know if you needed to grab your luggage or
if I can just put this luggage I was told to bring here. And she holds a suitcase.
Do we need a cart to get back up there? A horse?
I got a wheelbarrow.
No,
I just acquired it.
We'll just dump Ms. Reagan in the wheelbarrow. Go up the hill. I can get up the hill very quickly. I can get down the hill very quickly. If anybody else were to trek up there,
if they didn't know which way to go, it'd probably take like an hour to get to your place.
Let's just.
But you know the back ways, and
I have travel boots.
Yeah,
It's
and
easy.
you have a way with making the path easier for yourself and those that you are taking.
Let's just go to my place then.
So it'll take like 20 to 30 minutes to get up there.
Mabel, if you don't mind, I'm happy to take that for you.
Oh, I don't even know what is in it. Here. I was just told to bring it here.
It's heavy.
Oh,
Oh, it's
well,
like even for me, it's heavy. Like I
No,
can
no,
tell?
like you can tell that it's heavy though.
well, then
Yeah, yeah.
if we're going to be opening up surprise packages, then I definitely would rather be there than in a fucking bar
That's
here.
fair. I wore the smoking boots, so
Yeah, that
Did
works
he
for me.
get the wheelbarrow right now, or is it just like you come back at a later date and get your wheelbarrow?
I
stuff?
will grab the wheel. I
it's
know
there.
where the
He's got a
wheelbarrow is.
wheelbarrow.
I will
This is
go
gonna be an
grab it.
easy
Yeah,
track
it's
through.
it's there whenever you want to take it. So it's not like something
Yeah,
you
so-
need immediately.
So I'm putting all the stuff. I'm putting the shovel in there. I'm putting that. I'm just like I'm grabbing. It's mine.
Yeah, it's my wheelbarrow now.
Always. Yeah, the only reason why I'm not taking the cherry tree is because it's going to take time to take it out. So
Yeah.
just
Apple tree.
apple tree, forgive me.
No.
So we're just gonna make our trek, and I'm gonna pay attention to the birds.
Okay. As as you're making your way downtown, walking fast, the face is past.
I'm so glad.
Well,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
You can hear some of the branches kind of rustling. You'll hear the cawing. You'll see a raven or two kind of flying off. Crow, maybe if you don't know your birds. But there is a moment where once you get to the property line for your place, is there a fence to warn people that they're coming onto your property?
There's not. I would say there'd be like more natural fence line, real thick bushes, real
Okay.
thick. There's clear, easy ways to get on and off the property.
Mhm.
It's just like the trees and the bushes and the barbs
Okay.
tend to be a little thicker everywhere else. I don't think he would run like chicken wire or even a real strong fence line. There would be what Granny would have taught him how to do.
Mhm.
There'd be stuff on the trees, and there'd be stuff hanging in the trees,
Yeah.
but not exactly like a white picket fence. No.
You come up, excuse me, and one of the bushes near the main path, it looks like there's a cattail sticking out of one of the bushes, like in the shadows. And as you look, you can see that there is the back half of a cat. Like you can see that it extends into the shadows, but you can see that there is definitely an animal just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it's pointed straight at the cabin. Like the body is an arrow. Excuse me.
I'm just gonna kind of hold up my hand. Guys, give me a second, real quick. I'm just gonna see if I can get. And it hasn't noticed me. How close am I to this cat?
Maybe
A house cat?
you've never seen it around your area before. It's dark grayish fur. There's a white spot at the tip of the tail. The
But
elbow.
not like mountain lion size. It's
No. This is a house cat. Yeah, this is not a cat
whether it be
amount.
feral or not, it's a.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of squat down. I want to get a little bit closer, but kind of squat down and just. Psst, 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 psst. What you doing over there?
The tail flicks, but it doesn't move.
Hey, I see you. Your tail's sticking out of that bush over there. You want to look at me? You want to keep looking at my house?
You see it starts to creep into the bush.
Like to get away from me seeing it, or to get further onto my property?
Further onto the property.
I'm going to yell out, "Hey!" Does it do anything?
It stops. Like it freezes.
Don't think that's really wise of you, little cat. Come on back out of that bush. Does it do anything?
Starts to creep back towards the property.
Well, this is an odd way to figure out some things. Could y'all just stay here for a second, talk amongst yourselves?
Can't you just go up and pick the cat up?
I'm gonna go pick up a stick, and then I'm gonna start walking towards that cat.
Wait. It's just a cat.
And I want it out of my bushes, and I'm gonna take a good long whack at the bush, very distinctly the bush. We're gonna see what happens to this cat.
Always wanting to bring your wood up to the bush, huh?
Ayo.
Hey.
You didn't bring up that there's a cat there, Rav.
That's a low hanging fruit.
Does the cat react at all to getting the shit out of this bush?
It scoots into the bush. Like it darts into the darkness of the bush.
Sweet
I got
Jesus.
this. I put down the
I'm just at this point. I'm done.
And I
fucking with the cat.
literally, at this point, I'm just like, I got this. Don't worry. And I go and I actually climb the tree. Is it a bush or a tree?
No,
It's in a bush.
It's in a bush. It's in a bush.
Cat-
All right.
It's
I'll
weird.
actually-
I'm,
I'll
not-
actually,
I'm just wanting to see if it reacts to get out of my bush. Is it acting like a cat, Rav, or is it acting
You
like a
have a
weird
bush.
cat in my woods?
It's acting like a weird cat in the woods.
No. As soon as you try to go over there, I'm just like, hold on now, and I'm just going to reach over there and I'm going to grab it. If I can get a hold of anywhere that's on its back or scruff.
Yeah, you feel the tail right in your palm.
No, I'm not grabbing that tail, Rav. I want to reach into that bush and grab what I can of the cat.
Okay, so you're gonna skip the tail entirely, because that's the first thing that you can come across is the tail.
All I've seen is a tail.
Yeah, and the back haunches.
Mabel pulls out some catnip from her knapsack.
Yeah, I mean, if you got kitty treats,
Okay.
I feel like
Walk
you're trying to
over.
make me feel like it's weird, and it's not. I'm like, no, you're describing this as a weird cat in my woods.
It is a weird cat. It is a weird cat in the woods. 100%.
I mean,
I'm gonna
right.
do see the unseen.
Okay.
That's fine.
If I got the feeling it was weird, I'm not gonna let John Boy go up there and put his hands on it either.
Okay. Yeah. The moment you close your eyes and you start to smell the catnip coming out of Mabel's hands, wafting on the wind, you see that all of your bushes have that little glow of a pair of eyes. There are easily 36 cats. All of them were hidden in the shadows.
But they're not blocking our path. They're just in my fence line.
They're in the line, yeah.
All right, so don't worry about that cat. Come on in. We're gonna cross the property line.
Mabel will let the catnip go up into the air.
as everybody's walking
Mhm.
past, I trail a little bit because I actually want to see this cat. I'm like, all right, just because at this point I'm also reaching into.
Well, I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder. I'm like, I think I know what that cat. I think I know what he's doing. He's over there chasing the rat. Don't worry about him. And I'm just gonna try to pull him, like, nonchalantly just into the property line.
As he does it, Maple's going to address the cat in Irish and tell him, don't do anything that Morgaine wouldn't want you to do.
It's a good thing that John Boy has speed defense trained. Because as your desire to want to have touched this cat transcends the notion of safety, there is a moment where only Luke sees it because it is an unseen force. To John Boy, it is just as if a little branch sticking out a little too far and just kind of scraped up against your ankle. But Old Man Sage sees the attack for what it is and just sees the cat's claw just kind of swipe out. If you could roll a die for me, your speed defense eases the task. So that'll lower it by 1 challenge.
And what's the challenge at right now?
I know what it is.
Oh, that's great.
Does me knowing like trying to pull him back
16.
at the same? Does it help him?
It could, yeah. That could count as an asset for him.
Could I add, besides the speed defense, could I also use physical skills as well as on top of that, or no?
If you think anything could help you avoid getting attacked by a cat,
Punching the cat first. Yes.
I mean, Fist of Fury, just literally just.
Yeah, exactly. Six rolls later, that cat is not scratching you.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, speed defense and just using physical skills to just be able to use my physical skills. Just
which one do you want to try to throw at it?
what do you mean to throw at it? Like just
no,
speed
physical
defense.
physical skills means that you're trained in 2 skills, so it's probably going to be either climbing and swimming.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Swinging an axe or baseball bat.
Yeah, because when you hit the speech bubble, it puts it in the chat, and when you read it, it says you choose 2 of the following skills that you aren't already trained in, and
Right.
from the list, it probably would have been climbing and swimming as your physical skills.
That makes sense. Then I guess the one that I'm thinking of is Flesh to Stone.
Yeah, that you don't need to activate that. That's always
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to click that.
Okay.
okay.
So I guess it's just speed defense then. I rolled a 16.
Okay. Yeah, between Old Man Sage and your kind of sixth sense about things, you shift from his right to his left as he's leading you onto his property, and you can feel the bit of bush kind of snag on your pants, but it doesn't do anything. Old Man Sage would have seen the cat's paw kind of grab at the pant leg and then just kind of like slide off.
But they see the cat too, right? They see the cat.
They saw the back of the cat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what I see is just the back of the cat still.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. Now that you're going into the property.
Yeah.
It's still staring into the direction of the property, so its rear end is pointing away.
Yeah. Sometimes you get these feral cats out here. That's it. You can't do nothing with them. I'm going to keep the rats out though. And then just no nonsense. Just going to walk straight towards my front door. Now I don't know how much Old Sage would realistically have, but I'm imagining kind of like I think we've all seen it. Evil Dead. Kind of like that cabin, but with like a loft area as well.
Okay.
And it's just overgrown with vines and berries and and it's not kudzu. It all seems like it is just useful growth on his house, and there is you would see unless there was a reason why they wouldn't be here, there's like a murder of crows that just kind of, not a huge flock of them or anything, but there's usually like 6 or 7 crows that just find their way onto the property and just kind of nestle there. Are my crows there, Rab?
Yeah, they're there.
Okay, yeah, then we're gonna go inside.
They're there.
And I'm gonna open the door for Miss Mabel and Boy, and they would just see a very kind of no nonsense, like a Skinner's cabin.
As you usher them into your home, the door closes, and unseen by anyone, unwitnessed by any of the players, outside a crow lands on one of the bushes that was home to these cat eyes that Old Sage had seen. And as its head kind of tilts in one direction, It looks down, and it is immediately pulled into the bush. Inside Old Sage's house, there is indeed something on the fire. It's a low burning, so it's kind of like just keeping it warm, but there is a what I imagine a potato and onion stew.
Yeah.
Something that's just waiting for a protein.
Mm.
It smells nice. The mixture of the stew and the plant above actually creates a nice air about the place.
Just dried herbs.
You don't mind me taking off my hat and shawl?
No, of course. Here, let me get that coat for you. Or
Oh,
shawl.
thank you.
I'm going to go hang it up on it's a coat rack, but it is a coat rack of just antlers that have he's kind of affixed to this. Now I would say that I just so we need to talk.
Indeed,
now,
we don't.
well, I'd love to offer y'all some food, and I was going to go ahead and hunt a little bit tonight to do that. But just so we're all aware, we're safe. However,
Mhm.
we're going to be spending the night here. I do not get the feeling that we are safe off this property tonight.
Great hell.
What makes you say that?
You ever whistled in the woods, John Boy?
Oh, that's one thing everybody told me here is not to whistle.
There's things that'll answer you in the woods, and I do believe that that was not a cat in them in the bushes. Now, ma'am, I know you are a woman of science. I know you are, but I know that our
Indeed.
hills are not too dissimilar from your own. So, imagine if you had any local superstitions, these would be one of ours. I feel like that may not have been exactly a cat.
Are you saying one of your folklore?
Yes, ma'am. Honestly, if we're going to put that in terms that you would understand and recognize, I would love to make y'all some food and have y'all settle on in here tonight while we discuss what brings us all together.
Sure.
But it is going to be kind of just onion and potato soup. Now it is going to be seasoned to perfection, but
I'm Irish.
no rabbit tonight.
I'm Irish. What's stew without potatoes?
I'll even put in an extra one for you.
I appreciate it, but I mean, if I was wanting to go back home, I mean, it's a lovely cabin, but this is reminiscence of what I used to grow up in County Clare, except instead of wood, it was made of stone.
If I was good with stone, it would be stone. I promise you that, ma'am.
Well, if you have any Flagstaff or any, I can teach you how to do it. I make a stone cabin pretty easy.
I mean, if it means if it's not too much to intrude, I pull into the bag that I have, and I have roughly about 3 or 4 sticks of jerky. I'm like, maybe
keep it for a snack. Maybe Miss Mabel would like a piece. Y'all go ahead and sit on the couch. And it's just couch is a very strong word to describe. It's essentially a holder for like skin that is not like deer skins and stuff like that. That is, and like comforters. It's more of just a place that is soft to sit, but it's not really a couch, but it is a place to sit. But what is surprising is that you can see 3 footboards in kind of this loft area. And one of the beds is actually a little bit shorter than the other. But there's no sign of who those beds could have belonged to in the rest of the house. But it's just dried herbs. You can see some of the vines have actually kind of grown into the slats of wood, and it kind of gives it like this really just like walking into a wooden cave kind of feeling, that it's just there's light, but it's light from sources that are functional.
Old man cottagecore.
Yeah, very much so. But there is a surprising amount of it would be almost there's a lot of books and a lot of paper, and there's a lot of like not charcoal, but like charcoal pencils and stuff on like this little section that is just the maybe the 4 books that he has, and like 2 or 3 journals, and there is a Bible, and it is on the shelf, but it is heavily annotated. Um, but it is not on the table of use. But other than that, it is just a Skinner trader herbalist kind of cabin.
Yeah, honestly, like when you're mentioning that, it kind of reminded me of this old came on back in the day, David the Gnome. That's pretty much what it feels
Yeah,
like walking
okay,
into
yeah.
yeah.
I know
Yeah, that's
Rabbit.
what it kind of feels like walking in, yeah.
Yep.
But you know what? I would like to get y'all some real food on the table. It looks like we're gonna have some strong conversations tonight. So let's get some strong drinks if you all would like them.
Oh,
Miss
that's
Mabel, I'll take your whiskey and make you a drink if you'd like.
She will go into her knapsack and she'll pull out a bottle, a green bottle, and she will gently pass it over.
Okay.
Is it a green bottle of whiskey?
Yeah, it
Okay,
is
I
a
didn't know if it was
Jameson
like
bottle.
oh,
That's
fair
a
enough.
s-
The actual
it's a
Jameson.
it's the actual Jameson, and it's in a solid green, so that it doesn't lose its flavor and such.
And I'm just gonna
So
look at it, and I'm gonna look at you and like, you actually had I I apologize. I didn't know you actually had the real thing. Uh,
Darling, yeah, I'm very much Irish, and I brought home with me. That's only one of 6.
well, since we're on the topic of superstitions and the goodness between our land and yours, let's
Indeed.
do you mind if I make a drink for ourselves with this, all 3 of us?
I wouldn't have given it to you if I wasn't going to offer it to all of you.
Okay. And I'm gonna put the whiskey in whatever, I'm guessing probably ceramic mugs at
Mhm.
this point. Probably not a glasses kind of man.
You might have some horns, some drinking horns.
Not for this at the beginning of the night.
Okay.
No.
All right.
That's for celebration.
yet.
A really strong word. We're just friends talking. And just ceramic, earthenware. I want to put a little bit of honey and and then like a cinnamon stick in mine. And
Yep.
do I? No, okay. I don't know everybody's thing yet. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just make him a little honey and cinnamon goodness too. But
No. In fact, when I see you do that, and as you're pouring that for yourself and you're putting that cinnamon, I look at you and go, no frills. I don't need no bells and whistles. Just pass that over. It'd be fine.
um, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Would you like me to cut it with some water or anything? You just like your whiskey?
His whiskey it helps a bit with understanding the reality of the situation I've possibly just walked into.
Unfortunately, I think the way the night's going to go is we might start with your Jameson, and I really appreciate that. This is a treat.
You're welcome.
We very well might end the night with our moonshine, and
Welcome to try it.
Not a bad. That's not a bad night then. If we're
I
ending
hope
in moonshine.
hopefully the sun comes in the morning for us to suffer through it. So
As long as you balance it out with a little bit of tea in between, you have to stay hydrated. That's why you get a wee bit, shall we say, hair dug. You get drunk. You balance it off with water, you get dehydrated.
if you would have asked the guy at the church, he would have said that was God making you pay for your sins of
Dehydrated.
overindulgence.
I've grown up with many, shall we say, a preacher. We called them priests. And if I wanted to lecture him, I would have said it in Latin.
He wouldn't understand a lick of what you said. I almost bet. I wouldn't.
Exactly.
I
How do you think I met my husband? I was the one who spoke Latin. He didn't.
Well, so did you and your husband meet Preacher Gaines? How do y'all know Preacher Gaines? No, John
My
White.
husband knew Preacher Gaines. I was never acquainted. He knew of him because they had correspondence between the two.
Oh,
And my
was
husband
he a
went.
scientist as well?
I don't know, to be honest. I knew he used to talk a lot about him, and that if we ever came over, he'd be more than happy to receive me as being Irish, because, let's face it, many people don't care for us.
It's unfortunate.
'Tis be what it is.
Family should stick together, and if family's only an ocean away, that's all right.
Well, I think it's more the fact that I'm Irish, period, and most Americans aren't exactly accepting to it. But that's okay. I think of it this way. If they're letting their asses be kicked by other things, then I could just sneak around and do what I need to do. And that's
Distractions
being a
are
doctor.
useful.
They are indeed. And I spoke Latin. My husband was going to try and be a doctor and was in Trinity College, so I translated. So apparently I enrolled as well, and here we are.
Well, doctor, it is a pleasure. I do mean it.
Thank you.
What was the connection between what the kind of correspondence between your late husband and the preacher?
From what I understood, it was about a monthly thing, keeping up with it. You know, letters go so slowly between the ocean that by the time we got one of his letters, I'm sure he got one of his, and it was always trying to play catch up in between. And he would talk about what we were doing in Ireland, and eventually his going back home. And well, on my way here, this is where I found the whatever is in that suitcase is what I'm dying to find out.
Oh,
If
let's
you want
find out.
curiosity that killed the cat,
I'm
dying to open it.
Pop it open, but I want to take a sip. Just, I'm not
Oh,
going to.
you guys. I mean, here. I mean, Mabel, if you don't mind, and I
Luke
finish
wants to
the
know
drink
what's
that I
inside
have. And I
it.
put
He
it
ain't going to be the one to suggest going through so many stuff, but he wants to know what's inside it.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. I bring. Bam! Bring it on top of the table in front of us.
Table shakes.
And
Do me a favor. Before we pop this open, y'all enjoy your drinks. Help yourself to some food while it's still hot and while the flame's still going. I'm just going to
People
take.
just downs it. All right,
I'm
open
going
it.
to hand her
I've
the
been
bottle
dying to
back.
find it.
I'm just going to hand her the bottle back.
I just like I put the cup back towards you. I'm just like I've been done.
She pours another drink.
I'm just gonna take a walk around outside and make sure that, like I said, I know it is what it is. Not a lot of people believe a lot of things in the woods, but I was raised here, so I'm gonna just go ahead and take a walk around the property line real quick, and I'll be back before you know it. I promise.
But you sure by yourself? Sure you don't need.
I mean, I'd be happy to walk with you if you need it.
No, I'd rather my guest stay here. Get yourself something to drink. Get yourself some food. Settle on in. We're gonna go over that bag in a second, but I just for peace of mind, so we can have a conversation that I believe that is only us.
Beside the cat in the bush.
I don't like that cat. Look, I understand. I don't have a cat. I don't see many cats. The ones I do live on people's porches, and those are amazing. I would love one, but I don't think these are ready to be pets. And I make sure to say these.
Wait, these? Yeah, that's exactly. I go these.
Yeah.
I only saw the one.
Multiples of one, more than one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, y'all saw the tail, right?
I saw one tail. You're saying these, as in there's more than one.
Oh yeah, there's at least a dozen of them out there.
Are you sure you should be going out now?
I mean, I've just had a sip.
I'm saying that if there's multiple of cats that are out there, even though you happen to be a very long, tall man, and I'm sure you're very aptical of handling a cat.
And at this time, I'm putting on like a little bit of like an extra layer, just like an extra long shirt, and I've opened the door.
How about you go outside, because I can handle a scratch or two. What?
Rav, magpie.
Can you do magpie? See what that does.
We're all going to get on the same page real quick.
Magpie.
Oh, you're turning into a magpie.
I'm turning into a magpie.
Okay, I thought you were summoning a magpie. I was like, you got that?
I don't have that. That would be cool if I wouldn't mind it. Can we double dip? I want two focus. But yeah, we're all going to get on the same page real quick. I want to go poof, and then I'm going to fly inside my property line.
Okay.
I'm just going to check my wards and see if there's anything that is very obviously out of order. If they are still in the bushes, that's one thing. If they are inside, there's a difference.
Okay. So B shape, I think, has a cost. Yes, it costs 3 intellect. You have 1 edge and intellect, so it only costs you 2. But describe for Mabel and John Boy what this transformation looks like.
Even though I would like to say it is a poof, it's not so much you see myself physically change into a bird. It is a matter of perspective to where you see me start to become smaller, and you don't. It's where if you ever remember the old phone cords back in the day, and you stare at it a little bit too long, whether it was too close or too far, and then what you see is I turn to walk out of the door. But that turning and shifting and what you're left with is now a bird flying out the door.
The
Mabel
man
just goes and takes another long drink.
Yeah, the man ship is gone. And
The
there
man
is
ship is gone.
only the bird.
Your brain doesn't know when it changed, just that it did change and you watched it the entire time.
Yep.
Mabel.
Mabel just turns around and just pours more whiskey into John Boy's cup, doesn't even think. She just does it and recorks it.
I mean, this is very rare for me to say, but I think this might be too strong for me.
No, did you see a man turn into a bird?
There's a jug of moonshine sitting on like the
Yeah.
skinning table.
If it's there, then I'm
Yeah,
literally
it's
just
out
I'm gonna
the
go
open.
like that. I
It's out the
toss the cup. I'm just like this. Pop.
Yeah, jug. The 3 X's on it.
I'm not going to be that guy in the horror movie that has a little ace in his pocket the entire way through and doesn't use it. I'm like, you know what? No,
Yeah,
we're not
so-
doing this. Is it real? Is it not game?
You fly out of your property, out of the cabin, and you circle it once, and you widen your circle so that it encompasses your entire property line. And as you're about to fly over some of the bushes, you see them wilt.
Oh,
So there's right as you're about to fly over it, it wilts. Another one stays healthy. A second one wilts. Healthy,
no.
wilts.
First time I start seeing any of them start wilting, I'm immediately. It doesn't matter if there's anything else. That's a big problem.
Okay. But you saw 2 of them wilt.
Okay.
At least.
I'm immediately going to go straight on back to the cabin, and I'm just going to land. You hear a thump, 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 and then I open the door back up, and I'm me again. That bird definitely just crashed in that fucking door a little bit, but
Yeah.
so like I said, back before you know it, I understand that there are some questions that I left you all with. Guess what? I have more answers. None of them good. While we understand now that we're all on the same page and magic stuff exists, you can call it devil. You can call it good old fashioned knowing. We're not going to discuss that. What we are going to discuss is the property line is no longer safe.
So trapped here.
Well, that's the question. I like being at home where I know I'm safe. I don't feel safe no more, and now I don't think it's safe to leave. So yes, trapped is. So if anybody y'all have any special gifts, like turning into a gun, that would be great. Nope.
Can I say that I do?
I mean, I would have I would have the shotgun visible, wouldn't I?
If you want it to be, yeah.
Well, if it's not, I'm going to make it very visible. Well,
I don't think it would have been visible at the funeral, but I think definitely now that you've put your coat up, like
yeah,
you can.
now,
Yeah.
In fact, like first, I would actually reach out and touch to make sure that he's actually there. So I touch his arm. I'm just like,
I just gotta not. I understand.
yeah, and I'm like, well, I don't turn into things, but I do have my shotgun.
That's
And I take out the hatchet from that's like hanging off the side, like on my back. I'm like, got. Well, this one.
Could I have John Boy and Sage roll an intellect defense for me?
okay.
Oh, well, we know how that's gonna go.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. So my
Yeah.
intellect is now 2 less.
Yep.
So my pool is 14, not 16.
Yep.
Oh, so you have double digits. Nice.
Oh yeah. Some people actually.
Only because the things that I took gave them to me. I promise you that. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
None of you have
So,
intellect defense trained. So it's
no,
going to be a flat roll. Mabel will hear what sounds like singing coming from outside, but the gentleman will hear just this sweet whisper, and anything that you've wanted is being promised to you, and you have.
This ain't the lullaby I'm used to going to sleep to, Raph.
Yeah.
well, I rolled an 11, so I'm already anticipating.
I rolled a 9.
Okay.
I can't put anything to this after I roll, can I? Like what for the next roll when I get attacked by the mind player?
Yeah, after
what could I have done?
I'll let you do it retroactively. I will tell you that whatever you throw at this is not going to be enough for you for what you rolled at a 9.
Well, I'm just going to take that as I deserve what's coming then.
Yeah.
That's what that says.
Yeah, John Boy rolled an 11, and if he had anything to ease his task by 2, he would have made it. But the two of you just suddenly have this very maternal, very reminiscent of your own mother's voice in your head. And it just is promising you, what is one thing that you've wanted, John Boy? For as long as you can remember.
One thing that he would, above all else, is security. It's literally just knowing that I don't have to wake up anxiously knowing whether or not I'm going to have food the next day.
Okay. So you're offered the safety and sanctity of a home, house under your name, a little farm that you can grow food out of, a little paddock of livestock, the apple tree, just a vision of the apple tree right in the center of this property. A nice little 2-bedroom home, a little barn, just sounds of children running inside, the smell of apple pie from your own apple tree. You can see somebody waving you down. You coming inside? Been working awfully hard today. And the door to your house opens. Mabel sees them opening the door out to the property.
Mabel will try to grab both of their hands and pull them back.
What is Sage's deepest desire?
You see a night. Well, no, I will tell you what I desire. There was a night where Luke invited a woman into his cabin. You see his wife and his daughter. The next morning, the woman's gone. A week later, his wife and daughter are sick. There's a funeral for both of them. And you see Sage turn into a crow. And then stumble and fall out of that form and look very confused. He wants his family back.
You hear the footfalls. Small, hurried, then giggles, and then the little hands at the thigh, just kind of squeezing. It's a hug. And then you'll feel the thin framed hands, the arms come around from behind you and just kind of close in on your chest, and just that warmth of your wife's body on your back. And there's this familiar scent to both of them. There's a lot more light in your house. Everything feels less weighty. It's almost like the roots that you've allowed to grow have become chains in their absence. And now that they're gone and they're back, things can be different now. Mabel, do you have anything you can throw at this test of yours? Skills, powers.
She does have craft or understanding magic and using magic. I have
but
danger sense.
to help you pull them, do you have anything? Because otherwise it's going to just be a flat might roll.
Yeah, I don't. I have. Yeah, no. Not that I'm saying, unless you know. I have a hatchet, but I don't want to throw it at them.
Okay.
That'd be wrong.
Right here, right now. Please do it.
No.
No.
Let me die in this happiness right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not really, no.
So you could throw a level of effort at it.
Oh, I'll throw effort into it, absolutely.
Okay, so you're allowed to throw one level of effort because you're tier 1.
Okay, good. Yay.
So you have an edge of 1 for your might, so it's only going to cost you 2 points.
Okay.
But it does lower the challenge from 5 to 4.
Oh, good.
So.
Okay, so you just need to get above 16.
No.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
That's an 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo!
Okay.
I'm not touching my dad because that's just like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see them almost entranced. They're both seeing something, and you don't know if it's the same thing or what, but they both reach for the door. They both open it. In John Boy's fever dream, he's going into a house. In Sage's fever dream, he is going out to play with his child. Like, there is something guiding them. But you grab both of their wrists, and these are... John Boy by himself is a hefty boy, and it isn't until you have to literally put your feet on the door jambs and anchor yourself that you stop them. And beyond them, at the property line, you see a little mound of what looks like ivory from this distance. Maybe alabaster, something off-white. There's a little mound of it. There's a woman standing right behind it, on farther away from the property line. And
do I know what this is or no?
No, you've never seen her before. But you see that as she locks eyes with you, and as she sees that you have stopped them in their tracks, she glares as her song starts to diminish. The vocalization starts to soften, and she puts out her hand to what is nothing for a second. but there is resistance there. You can feel it stop. And for a brief instant, it is blink and you would have missed it. And in that instance, there is this beautiful onyx bird buck with eyes that burn like remnants of the Big Bang, and what looks like 8 or 9 or 12 or 7. They're so hard to get an accurate count, the way it's moving its head and the way it tilts and it takes notice of you. You can't fathom how many points his antlers end in, but she looks at it, it looks at her, their foreheads touch, and she vanishes. And the
She will
siren's
say-
song is over.
She will look at that, whatever she's looking at, and say, "Proc Memora home," and close and slam the door. And then she's going to look at the two of you and, "Are you guys here, or do I need to slap you?"
Are we here?
You're here.
Or does she
The song is over.
Immediate
Yeah,
tears.
Yeah.
Just immediate, just bawling my eyes out. You fucking Haints. You damn Haints. I'm going to open up the door. Yo,
Keep
my
it
damn
close.
property.
She'll close the door again. "Go sit down now."
I'm going to put a big slab over that front door.
Mhm.
My little locking slab. And then I'm
You
going to go sit
too
down and I'm
were-
going to grab my moonshine.
You two were locked in some kind of wee bit of a trance that I haven't seen in ages.
Yeah, I ain't seen him in ages either. What did it show
Good.
you, John boy?
What's it?
What them
I'm-
damn Haints show you?
I had home. I was home. I was literally home. My yard fuel's out there. Kids were here. I wait, and I start focusing more now on Mabel and Sage, and I'm just like, wait, that's never happened. That didn't happen.
No.
What did it
No.
show you, Luke?
It showed me what I actually had before. And as he
What
takes
did
a
you-
sip of his moonshine, he's going to look up the loft.
And 'tis what was before, if you don't mind me asking.
Wife, daughter, this cabin when there's still love and light to be found in it.
'Tis what happened.
Oh, now every now and then somebody needs a good hound.
Hound.
Sometimes they need a bird. Sometimes they need a hound. I
And?
took care of a woman here in this cabin one time. My wife did, fed her. My daughter played with her, showed her favorite dolls. We took care of this woman. And I got a gift. But I promise you, I'll give her the gifts of my family's teaching long before I ever give her anywhere near the amount of pain and suffering she gave me.
So she did return your gift in kind, did she?
My wife, my daughter got sick. And it didn't matter what my grandmother taught me how to make, how to brew, nothing I could do.
To the curse, then.
Curse. Maybe it's what I get for having the ability to do what I can do now.
There should be a balance at least, shouldn't there?
Well, I mean, I do enjoy our nightly flights through the sky, usually when I'm not losing my entire fence line.
To what? And she'll describe the woman, and then she'll describe the creature.
The woman is easier to describe than the creature is. You describe the woman scientifically, and it is the exact woman that Luke kind of described to you. When you go to describe the beast, though, words fail you. And you're a biologist. You know what phylum, what family, what order things fall into. Nothing fits this thing. The only word that comes out is black. Antlers. Fire. The barest of descriptors.
Would that ring any bells, or the inability to even describe it when she can so adequately describe the woman, even if it isn't anything more than
The
brown hair,
woman,
shorter legs?
the woman mentioned some kind of animal in the past, but without the actual finer details. It could have been a bear.
Could have been anything, yeah.
Could have been a mountain lion. The night goes by uneventfully. It's a little bit of a reprieve given the hoogity boogity that you just dealt with. But as you come out with the morning sun, lights creeping across the property, you'll see that the off-white mound at the edge of your property, honestly, off your property, your line, even for the wilted bushes and the dead plant life at the edge, your line is still intact. But it's 9 cat skulls and 1 crow skull. And this is where we're going to call it a night.
I'll take that crow skull. I'm burning them damn cat skulls.
So I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you. I want to thank the audience for joining us. I hope you guys liked this first taste of Old Gods of Appalachia. There is more darkness and shadow to come. I can promise you that. Because I think we did not open the suitcase that night.
I was trying to.
Yeah, well, I
Damn
didn't
it!
know. I thought I was going to do a quick little flight while they talked about, oh my God, he's a bird. And then you're like, and your property line falls. I'm like, oh no! No! No talkie. Fighty.
But as always, I want to give you guys a chance to plug whatever you're doing. We'll start on the opposite side this time, also because you are on your own stream. But Sway, where can people find you if they're not watching you on your channel?
If you're not watching me on my channel, you can find me on other channels, such as TikTok and the various social medias that I don't really use other than TikTok and Twitch. But we have my Discord community. You can find, we're doing a costume contest this week. Rav is going to be one of my guest judges. We're going to do it high school style. Rav, what was one of the ones you came up with this week for awards?
Oh, for the superlatives,
Yeah.
most likely to fall for the obvious trap. I think was one of them.
Yeah. I have a feeling that we're all probably going to do that at some point. Like, I shouldn't have left the house. I should have just barricaded, and then we got to talking. I was worried. I wanted to know what was out there, and that's kind of the way I played Sage tonight. Is curious, but like I don't trust shit, but I need to know.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to push buttons there, but I tend to, because I want to know all the lore and all the secrets, and I want to get all the hidden little achievements.
Yeah. One of the things that I didn't get to use this time around that I'm going to try to use whenever I can is a GM intrusion. That's one of the parts of the system that I actually really enjoy. But Junie, where can people find you on the internet? You're all over
I
the
have a link
place.
tree. Is it possible I could just link?
I think
Or
so.
am I able to
My
do
screen
links?
over and put it in
I
mine.
think so, yeah.
Put it in Rav's and I can copy and paste and put it in mine.
And not yet. You just put it there and I'll copy and paste it.
Nope, I can't. I'm
No.
please refrain from posting links.
Oh my god. I gotta change your
Oh
your
Lord.
access then.
Dang, you're expiring.
Mental
I know,
note.
right? Well, hi, I'm Judy Vinish. You can find me on the internet because that's where I live. It makes it easier to do things like this. You can find me on the Bird app. You can find me on the Butterfly app. I am on TikTok. I am here on Twitch. Not just here on Rav's thing. I have my own where I do creative art and strangle yarn because I was told that I can't kill people. I don't look good in orange. You will also find me over on Mixtaper Studios, not only for doing Dark Ages where I play an Assamite, I play a lovely Redcap on Changeling, and I am a storyteller for VTM as well for Chicago Hidden City. And they already found the Hidden City, Rav. Mental
Oh
note.
no, they found
I
it already.
know.
First season.
They did. Yeah, they did. And they found a whole bunch of gargoyles there too. Anyhow, they're trying. It is 2010, and they are trying to make Jackson Prince of Chicago, and that's what I do on Saturday nights.
Okay. Kenny, where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found?
I mean, if you want to find me, you can find me on social media under Mr. Underscore with the underscore in between each word. You can also find a TikTok that at some point I will revive. Critter Die Bears Love Gaming.
Yeah.
Eventually that'll be reborn. From the ashes. But for now, it's just that, and also since we're in wedding season, I'm also a wedding planner, so fun times with that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good times. So yeah, thank you guys for coming along with us for our ride. You can find me on Wednesdays at Mixtaper Studios. I'm trying not to be in everything on a Wednesday night, but I guess life has different options. You can catch us on Thursday for our Halloween finale for our other Old Gods of Appalachia story that is taking place in Virginia on the other side of the mountain range. And if not, you can catch me over on Dork Tales Friday and Saturday as I help out with their Extra Life fundraiser. They do Extra Life 2 or 3 times a year. I always try to help out as much as possible because, it's a good cause. Kids need as much help as possible. And if I can play games to further a good cause, I will always use that cheat code. So you can catch me over there Friday and Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for trusting me, the 3 of you, with this story.
I think I want to take that back now.
Yeah,
my heart hurt. I want to just take that trust.
Horror has different meanings for different people, and that's one that I like to use. But if you're watching live, or if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in our Twitch chat, so you can get some help, because a lot of people don't know that it is okay to be okay, and I think that the stigma needs to be, it needs to be broken. It is okay to not be okay. There are people out there who want to help you. There are phone numbers so you can reach out and get the help that you need, because people want to help you. And if you're not in the United States, or you don't do well with phone calls and text messages, you can go to findahelpline.com. It'll help you find the resources in the areas closest to you, because there are people out there who want to help you, and all you need to do is take that first step. I know it's the hardest, but we've all faced demons in our own way. Some are Appalachian sirens that hang out with the thing whose name sounds like Hornet Head but is not, in their spare time. And then there's demons like
God.
or there's demons like could I have said something different in 8th grade to change the trajectory of my life? Everybody's different. Demon is different. So just know that there are people out there who want to help you. So thank you guys. With that, I think I'm looking forward to next Monday's chapter to see where our Kentucky story goes. I am sad to see the Virginia story end, but they've had a good run, and I got to introduce 3 other players to Old Gods. I hope that by the end of this, you guys love Old Gods of Appalachia as much as I do. But otherwise, thank you guys. Let's hit our theme music and let's call it a night. Goodbye, guys. Bye.
Bye.